The story kicks off in a lab where a guy is doing research on a bunch of insects, jellyfish, and reptiles. This guy is Arthur Spiderwick. He's writing notes and making a book about plants that look like humans. He finishes the book and puts a seal on it, and that same seal protects the area around his house. The story jumps 80 years into the future, where the Grace family's twin brothers, Jared and Simon, along with their sister Mallory and their mom Helen, move into the same Spiderwick Estate that belonged to their great-uncle. Since she's the last living heir, the property was passed down to Helen. Jared didn't want to live with his father, so he was not happy about moving here. He gets out of the car angrily and starts hitting it with a stick, but he feels like someone's watching him. He goes into the house and notices that there's salt on all the windows. He finds his aunt, Lucinda, and learns that his great-uncle Arthur was killed, and his daughter Lucinda is in an asylum because she used to say that fairies took her father away. During dinner, they notice there is an unusual amount of honey and tomato sauce in the house, and at the same time, their belongings like Mallory's fencing swords and medals start disappearing. Since Jared is the rebellious one, he gets blamed for everything. Jared talks to his father and finds out he's not coming to pick him up the next day as promised, which makes him upset. He goes to his room and hears something moving behind the wall and under the floor. He knocks on the wall and someone knocks back. To find out what it is, Jared pokes a hole in the wall with a broom and he sees something run away. Mallory suddenly comes in and gets mad at him, asking when he's going to stop breaking stuff. The other two kids also come in, and everyone tells him to clean up. Jared insists there's someone in the wall. Mallory touches the spot with the broom, and the wall breaks, revealing a dumbwaiter that has their missing things inside. But Simon and Mallory blame him and walk away, thinking Jared did all this. Jared feels like something is wrong. He cleans the dumbwaiter and finds a key. He takes the key, gets inside the dumbwaiter, and goes up to a room. It's the lab. He sees a chest and uses the key to open it. Inside, hidden among clothes, he finds the book that Arthur wrote. There's a warning note on it, but before he can open the book, he hears a voice. He turns and sees a message written that says, "Jared Grace, leave here." His flashlight starts spinning around. He picks it up and runs to Simon, telling him about the room. But Simon doesn't believe him. Jared can't sleep. He reads the warning note that says, "Don't read this book or you might be in danger." He ignores it and opens the book, which breaks the house's seal. The first page says, "Arthur Spiderwick's Field Guide to the Fantastic World Around You." He suddenly starts hearing voices and goes into a box to read the book. It says that a world of fantastic and magical creatures lives among us, hidden by a spell. This book can remove the veil between our world and theirs, allowing you to see things no one else can. But once you've seen them, your perspective on this world will change. These secrets have been hidden for centuries, and the creatures don't like being seen. But over time, I've earned their trust. Some I can call my friends, and some you should be afraid of. All the creatures in this realm work for a big ogre named Mulgarath, who has many forms. These secrets are very powerful, so use the information in this book with caution. The more I've learned, the more my loved ones have been put in danger, so I'm warning you to be careful. Just then, Mallory's loud scream is heard. It's 2:45 in the morning. Everyone goes to see what happened and finds out that someone tied Mallory's hair to the bed. Once again, everyone blames Jared, but this time, Simon says that Jared has been reading for the past 2 hours. The next day, Mallory teaches Simon some fencing moves. Jared crosses a circle made of mushrooms and tells her that what happened to Mallory was done by a brownie who lives in the house. He's a goblin in a bad mood, and he was angry because Mallory broke his nest. He likes honey, which is probably why there is so much of it in the house. Jared is about to apologize to him, but an invisible creature comes near the house. It can't cross the circle around the house. Jared runs inside and builds a new home, putting items from the nest in it. He puts it in the lab, smears some honey on a cracker, and says he's waiting there and hopes whatever it is will take this. He waits for a long time and falls asleep. When he wakes up, he sees that the jar of honey and some crackers are gone, but there are some crumbs left behind. He follows the crumbs and sees a big rat-like creature enjoying the crumbs. He gets scared of the creature, and the creature disappears. But Jared tells him he won't hurt him and offers him honey and crackers. The creature starts to eat. Jared asks why he couldn't see him before, and the creature becomes visible and says it's because he didn't want him to, but now he can. Jared realizes that all the creatures in the book are real, but when the brownie sees the book, he gets upset and starts rambling. He couldn't keep the book safe. He hid it and even put a note on it. Why didn't he read the note? He starts getting angry and changes into his boggart form. Jared gives him honey again, which makes him normal. He tells Jared that Arthur had asked him to protect the book, to hide it, and not to let it go outside the circle, and not to let Mulgarath see it. He shows him the circle outside the house. But as they're looking at it, Simon, who's looking for his cat, goes outside the circle, and some invisible creature grabs his leg. The brownie, whose name is Thimbletack, changes back into a boggart and says that goblins have caught Simon because Jared took the book outside the circle, and everyone saw it. He tells Jared to look through the stone. Jared looks and sees them. He puts the book in his bag and, despite Thimbletack's repeated protests that the book should stay in the circle, he takes the bag and runs to save Simon. Following their voices, he goes far away and reaches a creepy place. He looks through the stone and sees that there are many goblins, and Simon is tied up in a cage. Just then, he hears a voice saying, "Don't make a sound and walk quietly." He sees that his foot is on a rope, and a bird flies and goes directly into the cage, where he sees another creature. It's Hogsqueal, a half-goblin on a mission to destroy the ogre Mulgarath, who killed his family. Jared tells Hogsqueal that he has to save his brother and needs his help. Hogsqueal says he will help, but first, Jared has to free him. Jared frees him. Hogsqueal spits in his eyes, so now Jared can see everything without the stone. Hogsqueal then tells him a stupid plan. He will go and distract everyone while Jared goes and kills Mulgarath with a knife. But when Jared goes to save Simon, everyone starts calling for Mulgarath, and a very bad-looking man comes out from under the ground. But Hogsqueal tells him not to go by his looks because he can change his form and show whatever he wants. Mulgarath tells Simon to forgive him because he only told the goblins to bring him here respectfully so they could have a meeting. When Simon asks what he wants, Mulgarath says that he just wants Arthur Spiderwick's book, which he has now found. Jared says he doesn't have the book, so Mulgarath starts searching him. Hogsqueal, who loves eating birds, gets distracted by a bird and goes after it. During the search, Mulgarath only finds some money and a picture. Mulgarath says to go get the book, or he will use the people in the picture to get the book. So Simon says he knows about the book and will bring it to him. Simon goes back. Jared sees Mulgarath changing his form. He gets mad at Redcap, the leader of the Goblins, because they look exactly alike. They picked up the wrong boy. Mulgarath tells them to find Jared, get the book, and kill everyone. Jared goes and meets Simon. Simon wants to give the book away, so they get into an argument. Just then, the Goblins come and see the book. Jared and Simon run away, but near the house they fall, and the Goblins bite Simon's leg. Jared gets up and takes Simon inside the circle, but just then, Mallory comes outside the circle. They both yell at her to get inside the circle, but she doesn't hear. Goblins attack her, so Jared gives her the stone, and with its help, Mallory starts hitting the goblins with her sword, and they both get her inside the circle. Now, Simon and Mallory believe Jared. They sit down with Simon, who's injured, and go to the roof and see that they are surrounded by 100 goblins. Mallory yells at Jared and tells him to just give the book away. Jared grabs her and stops her. He calms her down and tells her that if they give the book away, they will all die. They decide to burn the book instead. They go outside and light a fire. Mulgarath comes in the form of a crow, and they throw the book in the fire, but the fire goes out, and nothing happens to the book. Redcap decides that everyone will stay outside, and the kids also notice that the goblins are all outside, and if this continues, they will end up like Arthur and Lucinda. And that's when it clicks for Jared that Lucinda might be able to help them. Simon finds some documents about where Lucinda is, but going outside the circle means risking their lives. Thimbletack knows a secret way that goes through the outhouse, so they will have to leave the book in the house. Jared puts the book back in the chest and gives the key to Thimbletack. They go on that path that goes through a tunnel, which is about a mile long and goes directly to the sanitarium where Lucinda is. Mallory and Jared go while Simon, because of his injury, stays at the house. Jared gives Mallory the stone so she can see the creatures. Simon distracts the goblins and Mallory goes into the outhouse. The goblins see them, but before they can reach them, both of them go into the tunnel. There, Simon sees in the documents that tomato sauce burns goblins' skin, and vinegar makes them unconscious, and vinegar makes them blind. This means if they make tomato sauce, they can kill the goblins. The rest of the details were in the book, but when he opens the chest, the book is not there. This means Jared took it with him, but in the meantime, they make tomato sauce to kill the goblins. Meanwhile, the goblins find them from above and start digging. They leave a mole troll behind them, who catches up to them, but they somehow manage to escape and reach Lucinda. They tell her that they've moved into that house. Lucinda tells them that when she was a little girl, her father was researching these creatures and writing a book, but he found out that if the secrets he found were to get into the wrong hands, like the ogres, nothing would stop him from becoming the most powerful creature, and he would take over the world. So he makes a circle so that goblins can never get near the house, and and hides the book. But Lucinda didn't know about the circle. While playing, she goes outside the circle. Goblins attack her, but to save her, Arthur comes out of the circle himself. The sprites, who were upset about his finding their secrets and wanted to protect the world, take Arthur away from there, and Arthur never returns. So after many days, Lucinda goes into the forest looking for her father, but someone attacks her. She gets away and returns, but when she's questioned by doctors, they think she attempted suicide, but she was saying that goblins attacked her, and because of this, they put her in an asylum. Lucinda says that since Jared has read the book, the entire family is in danger, and now only Arthur can help them. But when Jared says that Arthur must be dead because he would be 125 years old, Lucinda tells him that he's not dead. He was just taken away, so they should find him, give him the book, and tell him to destroy it. This is the only way to save themselves. Just then, Redcap arrives and tries to take the book. Mallory throws a sword at him, but he only gets away with a few pages. Lucinda starts screaming, which brings in the doctors and the kid's mom, Helen. Mulgarath is furious that they couldn't get the book and only brought some useless pages. But then, he finds a page with the spell for the circle, and he says that he'll break it, and he'll have the book before the moon rises. He tells everyone to make a potion, but Hogsqueal sees all this and decides he has to tell everyone. On the way, the kids tell their mom everything, but she obviously doesn't believe them and starts yelling, which makes Jared mad. Mallory knows that their father will never return, as Jared thinks, because he's now with someone else. But after dropping Mallory, Helen leaves. Mallory notices that something is weird. There's nobody near the house now, but Hogsqueal comes and tells them that the goblins haven't given up. They are just plotting something. He gets excited seeing the birdhouses, as there are many birds he can eat. He gives Simon and Mallory the vision to see too, and tells them that they found the page that will break the circle spell. The kids plan to find Arthur. A griffin can find him, so they decide to use the book to call one. They read the spell, and a griffin comes. The griffin takes them very far away. Just as it is about to land, sprites surround them, and then Arthur appears. Arthur doesn't know that 80 years have passed. He thinks Lucinda is still 6 years old, and he notices that Mallory and Simon are also distracted by something. Arthur tells them that sprites can confuse the mind, so they should close their ears and put on headphones to go further. They hide, and Jared gives him the book and asks him to destroy it. Arthur refuses, saying that he wrote all the secrets with so much hard work, he can't destroy them. But when he opens the book, he finds out it's not the book. Thimbletack had already switched it, but Jared tells him that Mulgarath has some pages and will break the circle before the moon rises. And at the same time, their mom will be returning. Arthur says that since Jared knows so much, he won't let Jared go either. So Arthur takes the book and says that he'll distract them while the kids get away. Arthur runs out, but in this process, the sprites only make Arthur disappear, and the rest of them get on the griffin and leave. They reach the house and see that goblins have started to put the potion. Just then, their mom also arrives. She takes the kids inside the circle. Simon tells her to get sage. Mallory goes to get salt, and Jared shows his mom everything, and she sees Thimbletack. Now she believes them, and everyone works together to protect the house. They put salt and sage on all the openings. Night falls, the moon rises, and the protection spell ends. All the goblins cross the circle and start moving toward the house to attack. They can't get inside through the windows, so they start digging from the basement to get in. Inside, Jared and everyone else are ready with the sauce. Goblins come from under the ground. Everyone attacks them with the sauce, but there are so many of them. And then Mulgarath also comes in. They escape to the kitchen, put all the sauce in the oven, and make a line of oil, and hide in different cabinets. And as soon as all the goblins and Mulgarath come inside, they light a fire in the oil. There is a huge explosion, and all the goblins melt and die in the sauce. Thimbletack brings the book and says that now it's safe, but just then, someone tries to open the door, but it's not a goblin. It's the kid's father, Richard. Seeing the condition of the place, he asks what happened. Jared says that it's a long story and that it all started with this book. Richard asks him to show it to him, but Jared says to tell him what he was going to tell them when he met them. Richard says that he just wanted to say, "I love you." He then tries to take the book, but Jared says, "Wrong answer," and puts a knife in his side. It wasn't Richard, it was Mulgarath. He changes back into his real form. Mulgarath changes into a snake and chases Jared up the dumbwaiter. Jared also climbs up the dumbwaiter. He finds a hawk there and throws the book down. Before the book can reach the ground, Mulgarath turns into a bird and catches it, but Hogsqueal catches him and eats him like the other birds. And this is how Mulgarath dies. Everyone is safe. Hogsqueal is very happy that he finally ate the ogre. The problems between his mom and him are also solved. The next day, they bring Lucinda back home. Now they see that they have brought her father, Arthur. They tell them that since the book is safe, he can come back, but he can't stay because if he does, he will become 125 years old, according to this world's time, and his entire life will come all at once, and he will turn into dust. But Lucinda says that she has already lost him once and doesn't want to lose him again, so he should take her with him. Arthur takes her with him, and she becomes a little girl again. Everyone watches them go, and here, the Spiderwick Chronicles movie ends. If you like the video, please hit that like button. We're aiming for 500 likes, and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks.